What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a new episode of 343. In this episode, we will be talking about some recent Champions League highlights or results. We'll get into the weekend's Premier League results as well, and then a matter of a tiny little London derby this weekend between Chelsea and Arsenal. The guys look ready. Are you ready? We're going to get into it immediately. And we are back. New episode. Ziad looks a bit nervous, but he's putting a smile on. We'll get to that in a bit. Riaz is laughing a bit too much. That doesn't really fill me with much confidence. But yeah, how are you guys doing?
Riaz, I'll
Good.
let you go first, man.
Yeah, I'm alright. I mean, I'm always laughing, technically, if you think about it. Most of the time, even if we are a joke, which is quite often. But yeah, I'm doing well. Not too bad. Having a good week. What about you?
Yeah, no,
Nah,
all good, all good. Let's go.
all
Let's
good
do
on
this,
our
man.
side. It's the Parker trio. This is the first time
This is-
that the three of us are on
It could
together, like
be.
only the three of us.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of random events to bring this together. So
That's
United
also
got
true.
a good manager supposedly.
Yeah.
He's doing his
Supposedly.
best work, and he hasn't even started a game for the club yet. Spurs won, and Arsenal lost. So that's how we all find ourselves here.
The Holy Trinity, put it, put it like that. But yeah, let's just go get into that Arsenal loss immediately. Seeing that we don't really want to waste much time here. We just want to get into the weekend's results. I'll get into the United Chelsea one in a bit, but yeah, just Ziad, from your point of view, run me through that Arsenal match this weekend.
It's not much to run through there. Basically, one good chance Newcastle got, they took it, and then the game pretty much just sat there. Arsenal did nothing to break through and attempt even to attack. I thought it was just too risk averse. Arteta, his midfield was very strong, but they lacked the creativity of someone who could try and unlock the defense. And Newcastle defended well, got the home crowd behind them, and now we're talking about signing Isaac for 120.
Guy definitely put himself in the shop window there, knowing that the club is scouting him or is interested in him. Riaz, Sia just spoke about now like unlocking, like getting that killer pass and finding a ball to like get past that defense. How much does Arsenal miss Martin Odegaard right now?
I mean, he's a massive miss. I think he's one of the only reasons that they find themselves struggling like this, because it is that key pass that they are missing, and it kind of reverts them to playing a whole different type of football. Because we've seen over the past couple of seasons when Odegaard is fit that they like playing possession football. They're very creative on the attack, and they actually go for it. They're not like other teams that are kind of, or even like the team that they used to set up now. It's completely chalk and cheese, because now they, without him, they play a more like Siad said, a risk averse type of football, which is super odd to see, and it's not really what the team is tailored for. So I think it's a bit difficult without him, and they need to find a way to make it work, because otherwise they're going to find themselves further down the log if they keep doing this. Because at the end of the day, I saw a stat today that said away from home, Arsenal have the least amount of goal of shots that they've produced away from home, which is super interesting. After the whole league, 20 clubs, Arsenal have the least amount of shots away from home. So they've been playing very, very, very risk averse football, which is very surprising because they have a lot of talent. I mean, even without Odegaard, they have the star boy Bukayo Saka. There is Martinelli still there. Leandro Trossard was scoring goals for fun last season when he came off the bench. They have Gabby Jesus, who obviously has been a bit up and down. But they have all these players. Kai Havertz, one of my favorite, I guess, false nines in the league.
Yeah.
So they have all these guys that are flair players and that can do really, really good work. But they kind of, I think Carragher, I don't want to give him credit, but I mean, Carragher's been saying this narrative about this whole Mourinho-based football rather than Pep-based football. And without Odegaard, it seems that way. It really does. They seem to be kind of way more pragmatic in the way that they go about things. And it's come back to bite them, unfortunately.
So I don't know, like I was watching a lot of the extended highlights of that game, and it just seems that now Odegaard isn't there, so they tripling up on Saka, and they're not allowing him to play the free flowing football that he's used to. And when Odegaard is next to him, it's always one of the two of them that's going to get away with doing something special. But because now they're cutting that out by doubling or tripling up on him, that takes that entire thing away. And then because Odegaard's not there, Trossard is now moved centrally, and like you said, last season he was scoring all of those goals, but it was being done from the.
You know
So
what it's like. So you guys, I mean, okay, if you play FC 24, formerly known as FIFA, and you know when you
yeah,
get your players and the cards, right, and you put the cards in a different position to make
yeah,
all the players fit,
the
and then
chemistry.
you go from being a 80, 85, whatever, to a 70 odd, because you
Yeah,
put a guy in a position he shouldn't be in, or that chemistry is disturbed. And that's currently what's happening with Arsenal, because you're moving Party from central midfield to right back. You don't have Ben White there. Ben White's link with Saka is integral to the team moving forward. So you disrupt that whole part. You've got Martinelli on the left, but the left back changes every week, so you can't build up chemistry there. You also have Trossard being pushed, like Ria said, to the middle, which is not where he does his best work. His best work's done
yeah,
on the left coming in. And you know, Havertz has dropped deeper in recent games where he was actually doing better, almost similar to what Isaac was doing for Newcastle, and kind of playing on the last man. So it's all these small movements where it's like Arteta's moving around the pieces, but not picking the best piece for the role.
yeah,
So he's sacrificing by keeping the same players in the 11, but they're all playing in different positions, which is just killing the chemistry
yeah,
with regards to what he wants to do. So yeah, I feel like it's probably just he just needs to trust the players in their position. And for example, if you need someone to play in Odegaard's role, who's the best player you have for that? And you let Smith Rowe go, who would have fit in that
100%.
spot as the backup. So you got to look at Nwaneri, and he has to play, because you can't have. I mean, Marino's pretty good midfielder, but he's not going to help us with creativity, right? He's
Yeah.
there
Yeah,
for strength and to receive the ball and move it to the next person. But yeah, it's just play the best player for the spot, man. You can't keep moving guys around and then sacrificing the quality of the team, because not having Party in the midfield, it's kind of handcuffing Rice to stay deeper where you want him pushing forward and getting to the box and so on. But yeah, for a team that lost 1-0, I think we talk too much about them at the moment. So let's move on.
That's a good analogy,
just
though. That's like top
yeah,
analogy.
like I like that. I like that explanation. I just want to, before we move on from this picture, I don't know if you guys caught the studio feed between Righty and Alan Shearer during the game, which was it was amazing because Alan Shearer, he was buzzing. He called that a proper 90s crosser, like stuff that you would have loved to get on the end of. But like while he's celebrating, and Righty's just like sat in his chair over there with
So
the straightest face and the angriest face, and the guy just didn't move at all. He just like looked at Shearer and was just like, "Nah, I'm not having this."
So I was listening to Righty's house earlier today, and he was saying that Shearer can deal with losses better, because obviously they Arsenal win more than Newcastle beat them, and he was very amped. He said the hope got him up, and by the time the thing ended, Shearer was walking out with his chest up, and Righty's a bit of a sore loser. So
Yeah,
he was like, nah, one of those that he's just like, I can't, man, I can't. He said he had to eat a lot of humble pie. Um,
yeah.
yeah, he's quite an interesting character. Wears his heart on his sleeve, which is always fun.
It's true.
Yeah, no, definitely one of my favorite pundits to watch in the game. But yeah, moving on from this fixture, there was another one that happened at Old Trafford between Man United and Chelsea.
Snooze
Diaz,
fest.
as our resident Chelsea fan here on the panel, what was your take from that game? Do you think it was a fair result? Do you think one team should have actually come away with something bigger?
No, I think it was a fair result. Both teams didn't deserve to win the game. They were both average at best. I think that
It was a snooze fest.
it really was. It was. It was. And I can't even remember. Oh, it was a penalty. I was trying to think of United's goal, and I realized it was a penalty. Definite penalty. Chelsea keeper is he's not good enough for them. I'm sorry, but bad mistake that he made for the goal. Good finish, Bruno Fernandes. He needed a goal for his first goal of the season, which when I heard it was ridiculous to note.
Yeah.
And Chelsea were. I don't want to say better because they weren't better. They were just more fluid sometimes. I think that
Chelsea were better in the midfield, man.
Yeah.
They were a lot better in the midfield.
and Palmer seems to. It wasn't lost as he was against I don't know who they played a couple of weeks ago, where he was Liverpool. That's correct, and he was completely out of that game. He wasn't. He still was in this game now and then, but I think they need to find more ways to get him into the game when they're playing against big teams, especially when he's marked so closely. But yeah, both teams, the draw was deserved at the end of the day. Neither team deserved to win the game. It was
Yeah.
really not there was minimal quality in the game.
Yeah, so I watched quite a bit of Maresca ball this season. Like I've raved
And
about like
I'm the Chelsea supporter.
what I'm a Maresca fan, not a Chelsea fan. I drew the
Same
line
thing.
there.
AF had a bold manager that he couldn't get behind anymore, so he looked for a different one.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, like the 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 type of football that Chelsea played on Sunday wasn't the usual Maresca ball that they've been playing this season. I don't know. They felt a bit rigid. They felt at times stuck. Like they didn't know like proper decision making. It just felt unlike the Maresca ball that they played. I don't know if it's the fact that Ten Hag was sacked and it was a new manager that was in the opposite dugout, and Maresca probably doubted himself with whatever he was going to put out on the platter in the first place. But yeah, I mean the fixture's done 1-1. I think fair result. But yeah, there were a couple of questionable decisions, not only from myself as a United fan, that I've seen like from Chelsea fans on Twitter as well during that game, and that's going to go back to a referee conversation that I really don't want to have again.
You mean
So I'm just
you're talking
gonna.
about the red card because that's just a plain red card at the end of the day.
That's one of the things. It's just like there were so many questionable decisions throughout that game, but I'm really not going to get into that because I mean
Fair
we're
enough.
going to
We
speak
do it
about
all the time.
referee decisions every week, and nothing's going to ever happen about it. They're never going to take action about it. But yeah, I think that's all the big ones that happened this weekend. I can't really think of any other one. There is one, but I'm going to get to that in a bit because it's 3 games in the row that they've lost now, and I'm talking about. Riaz, you should actually take some credit for this because your team started this process. It was a loss to Spurs, and then a loss to Bournemouth, and a loss to Sporting last night. So
I
yeah,
think we
Man City is
all
in the
kind
middle
of.
of the rat.
You can't
Do
give
we
him the
think?
credit, surely. I think didn't we injure Rodri, so we should get the credit.
That's fair.
True,
That's actually
true,
fair.
true.
At least a
Come
little
on,
bit
man.
of the credit we'll give it to you. So we'll start. So we
We'll
all
split
deserve
it.
credit. AF
Yeah, we'll
for
keep the credit in London.
the past for Zadie, and I'll take the present credit. So the future credit
Okay,
for
fair
AF.
enough.
We all get some credit here and there.
But yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it hands down. But Riaz, do you think City are in a bit of a rut at the moment? Because I watched that game last night, and a lot of the time I don't know if they look burnt out, and that's wild because it's like 3 months into the season. But I don't know, they just look bored last night. Like they didn't run the way they usually do. They just looked uninterested, like they didn't want to be there.
I'm going to defer this question to Zadie, like also because is it the fact that is it the games being played because both last night and in the Bournemouth game they kind of looked like they were short on fuel, I guess, or like you say, they were disinterested. So I don't know what the issue is there.
Yeah, I think they in their dressing room. There's been a lot of talk about fixtures, congestion,
Yeah,
and the players, playing too much and so on. And if you think about, I mean, they haven't even got to the Club World Cup yet, but the amount they talk
yeah,
about it, I mean, you keep hearing by the time we come there, we're gonna have played 70 games, and we only get 3 weeks off, and the NBA gets 3 months off, and it's almost like they're making themselves tired in advance,
yeah,
or
Yeah,
just in the back of your mind, knowing you got all these games, you kind of pace yourself, so you might be holding something back, knowing that we're playing so much. And the fact, I mean, I was talking to someone not too long ago who was telling me that Man City want to win everything, so they're always trying to compete, where sometimes you gotta say, look, the Carabao Cup is not for us, so we're gonna play a reserve team, whatever the case is, because we need to keep the guys fresh. But yeah, they compete on all fronts as much as possible. We all know Pep likes a small squad, so that means he is gonna run the guys into the ground in that way. But yeah, I think they're just getting, like you say, boredom. When you win a lot, it's sometimes when you win with the same players, it's hard to stay motivated. You look for new challenges,
very much, yeah.
and they normally refresh their squad in a way to deal with that. So when guys feel they've achieved enough, they move that guy on. But they've kept a lot
yeah,
of the players, De Bruyne, Bernardo. A lot of these guys have been there for long, and we know that Pep in previous times Pep has had kind of a shelf life. Because look, you get tired of the messaging, right? So if you don't change the players and the coach is staying, you got to bring fresh guys in, because
yeah,
that the way he coaches and challenges players, they will burn out after a while.
Yeah.
So I reckon it's part. I mean, if you add all of that together, you probably get where you are now. And then they are playing decent football. Obviously, they are all held to a high standard because of what we're used to seeing from them. But hey, with these guys, they might just click into gear in January or
They will.
February or something, and then
yeah,
go
yeah,
on
yeah.
a run,
That's
and you're like,
standard.
why were we even doubting these guys? But there are a lot of cracks, and it's going to be interesting to see if anyone can take advantage of it, which Liverpool seem to be doing really well.
Yeah,
And I mean,
Liverpool under
I
Arne
think
Slot and
they are
go ahead,
beasts.
go ahead, go ahead.
Now, I was just gonna say, like, we should actually, like, you need to kind of go at them when they are like this. It's shown now. Like, I think all three losses that they took in a row were very similar in nature. Where even though they dominated most of the ball, they had minimal like creation, and the opponents, whether it be Spurs, Bournemouth, or Sporting, whenever they got the ball and they attacked directly, they attacked well, and they attacked without fear. And I think
Yeah,
that's super important, because a lot of people in the Premier League, Arsenal included, no offense, give Manchester City too much respect, and that kind of allows them more freedom to express themselves in the game. Whereas we saw these last three games, Spurs, Bournemouth, and Sporting didn't give them like respect at all. They went at them and they ended up winning the game. So along with all of the stuff that Ziad mentioned, which is all true, I think now if we want to make sure that we take advantage of this, we have to go for it. We don't have to. We shouldn't have sitting on the back foot. Shouldn't have respect for them, and we should just go for it, no matter who they're playing against.
yeah, and I think that with Bournemouth, they got some good results already. So coming up against another giant in Man City over the weekend, they weren't really intimidated, and that goes back to what you said, like just like play them, like don't show them too much respect. Just like play your natural game and try to take it to the team that you're up against, regardless of their name. And yeah, like Bournemouth is punching well above their weight at the moment. Happy to see that. Uh, but yeah, like Zia just said now, Liverpool, top of the log in the Premier League, top of the log in the Champions League as well. I think if Villa wins tonight, they go top, if I'm not mistaken. Which is crazy as well from that perspective, because I don't think anybody like punted Villa to do this well in the Champions League. But yeah, Slot's been quite a good revelation for Liverpool. I don't think anybody expected him to come in and just like continue riding on this train that Klopp started. Like it just seems like it never ended. and the players are just buying more and more into his sort of philosophy. And it's a bit bitter for me because I thought that when Klopp leaves, it's going to be a bit of a reset for them. But yeah, you spoke about humble pie earlier, and I think I'm eating a bit of that as well.
You've been eating that for
Um,
10 years, mate.
no, 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 no. Like Liverpool didn't come into relevancy probably until like 2017. I mean, we all saw the hand holding in 2016 after they drew to West Brom. So, like, I'm not counting anything until 2017.
Okay, fair enough.
Um, but yeah, just want to mention one more thing before we come into the preview, and that is a sporting director who chose to move to a club with a Champions League trophy. At least that's what Twitter is saying. Instead of staying with a club without a Champions League trophy. Ziad, can you tell us about the Edu transfer to the Marinakis family?
Bro, if you're gonna triple my salary, I'm saying yes. Don't come with European trophies and all these other stuff, man. It's really simple. They tripling his salary. He's gonna be in charge of multiple clubs as opposed to one club. It's not like a lot of the coverage is like, oh, he's joining Forest. He's not joining Forest. He's
Yeah,
joining the group, right?
yeah,
So it's like, did Klopp join RB Leipzig? No one's saying Klopp
yeah,
joined RB Leipzig and he's now a step down. He's in charge of the Red Bull group, so
yeah.
it's a step up for the guy. Every one of us sitting here would take triple our salary and walk.
No,
So I mean,
I,
at
I,
the end of the
I
day, he's done. He's left the club in a better place than it was when he came there. People want to play there. People want to work there. Yeah, it's a pity he isn't there to see it across the line. And who knows, maybe this is the catalyst to get it across the line. Someone else in some fresh ideas just to re-energize the place.
Yeah, no, like I fully agree. I think that the opportunity was so good for him, and I think at the moment it's Forest, Olympiacos, and I think Rio Ave in Portugal.
Yeah,
But the report or the article that I read said that there's about five more clubs on the way. So it seems like it's going to become this huge conglomerate of like clubs all over the world, probably similar
yeah.
to the City Group and, like you said, the Red Bull with all of their clubs. So they need somebody with really like great experience to head that project, and it's going to be a huge project. So yeah, I think well deserved for him. I think he'll do really well over there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens at Arsenal now in that vacant position. Do you have anybody off the top of your head who you think might be a good successor there, or
Yeah,
is
just
that
give Arteta more responsibility, man. Go Wenger. He's in charge of everything from top to bottom. No, actually, no clue. I don't know. I don't even know where you would go find a sporting director in the middle of the season. At the end of the day, it depends what the responsibilities already sit with Arteta and then what they need to replace. So, if it's with a January transfer window coming up, it's probably important to get someone in to
yeah,
handle that. If there are any incomings or outgoings during that period. Otherwise, you're looking long term and you're probably just going to have an interim until you can appoint the guy you want rather than taking whoever's available now. Because I don't think there's much available in the middle of the season.
yeah? I mean, unless you end up buying somebody out, and there has been like a lot of rumors over the past like 2 or 3 weeks that Paul Mitchell isn't happy at Newcastle, so that could be a possible option for you guys.
Hey, if
Like
he's
if
going to
he's
bring Isaac with him, he can come.
but yeah,
Otherwise, yeah.
it's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on. But yeah, let's just move on to the preview real quick. Don't
I
really
think
want to
we
take. Sorry.
maybe 60 seconds just to enjoy the fact that Spurs figured out what to do in the opposition box.
It is surprising. It is very surprising. But we shouldn't speak too quickly because this week then we will not find the goal. So, that's how it goes. Consistency is the problem. But yeah, it was good, man.
Yeah,
Everything is
you
looking
beat
looking.
someone. You beat someone who's in and around your spot on the table. So it's
Yeah,
pretty good.
actually,
Good to get a win over Villa.
yeah. I mean, people are
Yeah.
pipping them to beat us to the fourth spot. So and like
Exactly.
easily. So yeah, it was a great win, to be honest. I really enjoyed it, and to win convincingly after once again a 50-50 first half where it was
That
up
first
and
half
down,
was bad. Yeah.
and then the second half we came out and we played like Barcelona or something crazy. So I mean, make it make sense at the end of the day. Um, but yeah, all we can ask for is consistency. Hopefully, going forward,
Are you
and if
talking
we,
about the football or the refs?
oh, I don't care. I'll never complain about the refs. I will.
You'll never complain about the rest.
Consistency.
Okay, I'm clipping this. I'm clipping this,
I
Yeah.
mean,
and
like in my team, like if they're against my team, I won't be like, oh, I'll blame the refs for this result. Like that's not you're not going to see me do that. I'll rather blame the players because we weren't good enough, type thing. Although the refs are very bad, and I'll say it right now, just to flip flop right in on immediately. Um, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. We played rock and roll football. It was great to beat Villa and to show that people overrate Emi Martinez, which is my favorite thing to do.
do we think that Villa's tank is going to run out sometime during the season because they overperforming in the Champions League, and in the Premier League they've been doing well for the most part, but do we think that they're going to run out of fuel anytime soon?
Uh,
No comment.
I
I
thought,
want to say nothing here. I want to stay on the fence. I want to say nothing here, man.
why? I feel like I'm usually the fence sitting guy, and you usually the
Nah.
guy with good
See,
analogies.
it's like you now they play good football for the most part. So
Mm.
I reckon if they keep going like this, they should be fine, man. I don't think they're gonna run out. I think they'll be okay. They got a deep enough squad.
Yeah,
I mean, you'll see the results will probably. I wouldn't say they're really overachieving, but they're kind of playing at their peak in a lot of the games. So you're going to see a couple of games now, like the Spurs one, where they just don't have it, and the result
Yeah,
doesn't go their way. But I think they'll be okay for the long run. They'll challenge for that top six consistently, and the Champions League, we don't know much with this new format how things are going to pan out. So just have to see where they end up. But it'll be interesting if they get to the knockout stages to see how they deal with that pressure.
yeah.
But yeah, they've been doing well, so
I think they will
good on them.
actually. I think they'll get to the knockout stages. I think
Mm.
I just don't think they'll get much further than that.
Yeah, that's
But
what I'm saying, to see how they perform on that
yeah,
stage.
that's true. And but I do think that they'll finish top four still. I think that they have enough. They won't lose. I think they are the best squad. Well, they meant Chelsea, I guess. The two of them to fight, and we'll see how Arsenal goes. But I think the three of those clubs will be fighting for that 3 and 4 spots at come the end of the season because of the squad depth, basically.
Interesting. Let's just stay on Arsenal there as we start this preview. It's at the bridge, right? It is at
Yeah,
Stamford Bridge this
yeah.
weekend. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see like if Maresca is gonna go back to what he knows, um, and knowing that there's no Odegaard, knowing that Arsenal is lacking that sort of killer pass. Siad, how do you think Arteta will set up to manage Cole Palmer? Firstly, because obviously that's going to be the immediate go-to, and then secondly, do we think that and I know this is probably straight out of left field, but do we think that Raheem Sterling could have a winner in him for this one? Because the guy hasn't been
He
getting
has to
minutes
get on the
at
park,
all.
eh?
He
Yeah.
hasn't been getting minutes at all. But this can be a really great time for him to show the finger to Chelsea, but also like get him to make a name for himself
Yeah,
at
look,
Arsenal.
a lot of it's gonna be dictated by who plays tonight, right? So obviously, with things not going too well, I reckon he's gonna play a lot of the starters. And then the game is only on Sunday anyway, so there is an extra day rest. But it all depends, yeah, how tonight's game goes. Obviously, if there's not a good result tonight in the Champions League, more pressure on. Things get a bit tighter, people don't play as freely. So if they're able to nick a result away tonight in the Champions League, it might just be the catalyst for them to play a bit more freely, knowing that in certain matchups, which is coming back to what you were saying about Bournemouth, I felt they exploited the matchups really well, where they had Semenyo run at Kyle Walker just coming back from injury basically,
Yeah.
and who was playing on the left for City. I can't remember because the wingers of Bournemouth, they exploited the matchups well. So I think that's where Arsenal need to really look at it and say, look, we've got Saka, we've got Martinelli, and Chelsea's wing backs are not, or their full backs are not the greatest defensively. Attack, go at them. I mean, Reece James was playing left back against United, or the left of a
Malo
three, whatever
Gusto.
they were doing,
Malo Gusto
right?
was playing left back.
Gusto was also in there, but so I know Reece James was on the left somewhere. Just
Yeah,
attack
he
these
was on the
guys.
left. He was on the right.
Yeah, so go at them and exploit the matchups that you have. And with Palmer, I think the midfield is good enough if they can move Party back in there to neutralize him a bit. It's more how Gabriel and Saliba deal with the pace of Jackson. Because
Yeah.
with all the cards that we've gotten in recent times, that's the type of player that is someone that could easily, uh, you know, put them under pressure. Not really from a defensive point of view, but they do silly things, man. Like a slight pull, or you might just beat the press and then they panic, which is so weird because you don't expect that. But I think that pace of Jackson against those two, you could get a few silly free kicks in the wrong position, and then that could open it up. But I'm not too confident of a result. At the moment the team's not playing too well, but I think if they can get some more attacking threat into the 11, then we're definitely in with a chance. Not too worried about playing at Stamford Bridge. It's just what type of football are we going to go there and play? If we're going to go there and just look to take a point away, then you're really risking it, because you can easily go away with nothing. If you're just looking to get
Yeah.
1 point, and if Arsenal's serious about challenging for the title, you can't be going to teams just looking to nick a result. You got to go grab it. And this year again, bring Liverpool into it all the time, but they have Mohamed Salah, a world class player who runs in and he takes the points away from whoever they're playing against. Like Brighton were
Clutch
in that
moment.
game over the weekend, and within six to 10 minutes they turned it around, and Salah just said, 'We
Minutes.
2 minutes. I'm not letting Brighton leave with points here,' and
Yeah.
and that's a type of attitude you need from your best players. So go out there and grab it, man. Otherwise, let the memes come, and we're gonna have to just take it.
So what I've always noticed about like how Chelsea plays, and that is Nicholas Jackson. He plays on that very high line, and Arsenal they play a high line,
Yeah.
and if you guys aren't careful and you guys um, have that sort of lapse for a moment, he's gonna be gone. And
See, so this is the thing, right? So on that note, there's this weird thing happening in football at the moment where, so we know that Chelsea are very good on the counter attack because they got pace on
yeah,
both wings, right? You got Pedro Neto, who scored against Arsenal multiple times for Wolves. You've got Madueke, you've got Jadon Sancho, you've got Nico Jackson, Cole Palmer. So what's happening now? There's this trend where Arsenal and maybe some other teams are saying, okay, you guys have the ball. We don't need the ball to win. But you have this kind of stalemate where nothing's happening and the ball's just bouncing around in the middle because no one wants to commit
yeah,
too far forward. Because, like you're saying, if generally Arsenal going to have more of the ball, that means the defensive line is going to push up and you're going to have
yeah,
Saliba, Gabriel stepping forward. But knowing Chelsea's threat on the counter, they tend to actually hold back. And then you get one of the left or the right back coming into the middle, and then you got that back three kind of thing happening with a one inverted fullback, and then the ball is just bouncing around like in
yeah,
no man's land because both teams are kind of scared for the other team to counter. And when they do see that space, they exploit it. Like Ben White, when he saw that space for Saka to run in, I think it was against Liverpool, he put that ball immediately over the top, and Liverpool didn't do that again. They they just kept so it's interesting tactically what's happening, because I think those days are gone where one team is just defending and one team is playing so far up because of the threat that a lot of teams have with the pace up front and
Yeah.
out wide.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something to think about, like for managers, because like a team that definitely won't ever cave into that is Man City, because they're all about like possession, they're all about keeping the ball, playing good football and stuff like that. And Arsenal as well, like they possession based, but
Arsenal
I
used
mean
to be like
United.
that.
Used to be in
Sorry,
the past few games they've given the ball to the other team and said,
Yeah,
"You guys have
that
the ball, we fine defending." And it
yeah,
kind of worked a little, but then you neutralize all that attacking threat. A guy like Martinelli needs to run at people.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
not running at people because he's getting the ball on the halfway line, and he
yeah,
can't beat you. He can't beat you face up. He needs to beat you when he's already running at you and you backpedaling. If your feet are set, you can tackle that guy 9 times out of 10. You know, when it comes to, and Saka is not someone who dribbles past you. He goes at you, but then cuts in on the left to let the right back overlap. So you can only do things like that if you're moving at pace,
yeah.
because then
Then they
guys are
also do.
backpedaling. The defenders are backpedaling. But if the defenders are set and coming at you, I mean, I don't think they'll be able to attack enough. And that's why I'm saying with Chelsea, I don't rate their right left back defensively.
It's
So
true.
we have to exploit those matchups, whoever it is. I'm even not against playing Trossard ahead of Martinelli, because Trossard can dribble and he likes to attack, get to the byline, and do things like that, man. So
mm,
yeah, I just hope they put the right guys in the right spots and play the ball
yeah.
forward quickly.
I'm just gonna go into like that right and left fullback spots. And then Riaz, earlier you mentioned about Robert Sanchez, that he's not a keeper that should be the number one for Chelsea. So
Shoot.
stuff like that, like Arsenal will be obviously looking to exploit. But are there any other areas of the pitch that you think that they would be keeping their eye on?
In terms of Chelsea specifically, I think that the weakness is the back line and the keeper. I don't think. I think the middle pivot, the midfield pivot, are very strong. Both of them,
Yeah.
both Caicedo and Lavia, they're very good at what they
I
do.
think they developing a really good chemistry at the moment. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they high on confidence. So that's a good midfield battle for Arsenal. That's why I think Partey needs to get back in there to sit with Rice, because
but
then
you
they
don't
can
like
go man
Merino.
for man. But no, I do. But he's freshman. He's not up to speed with the league. He's coming into the team when we need him to do things that we probably didn't want him to do if we're playing
Yeah,
Plan A.
yeah.
And when you ask a guy to do stuff that you didn't sign him to do those things, then it does make it a
then
bit
where do you want
harder.
him to play? Where, like, what's his position?
I think on the bench for now.
Okay, okay, but
No,
he's
look,
like,
He's
so
he's
if
he's a box to box player though.
yeah,
He's a
he is.
box.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
actually
so
I don't know. I actually think he's more of a backup for the
nice.
midfield than the starting midfielder in that trio of
Okay.
Rice, Party, and Erdegaard. And obviously
Mm.
with Party's injury history, he's good backup, but he's just taking some time to settle. I think you need to, if you're playing in that spot, you need to know who's playing at left back, who's playing at right back, depending which side of the
Yeah.
park you are, to develop that chemistry. Because if he's playing left of the pivot, then he has to link up with whoever's playing left back. And currently, that's a revolving door. It's
Yeah.
Calafiori, it's
Yeah.
Timber, whoever who's gonna pop up there
Zinchenko.
next week. So you
Yeah.
can't really get any chemistry. If you look at the other side, when Ben White was fit, it's fairly solid. So
That was
guys kind
really
of
good.
know. See, at the end of the day, right? I was talking about this football, right? American football. Uh, when you have a position on the field, you kind of need to know what the other players are going to do as well. So you need to know where you must be, and you need to know where your teammates are going to be, right? 9 times out of 10. So that is something where it takes some time to build up, and hopefully he gets it with some more training and more experience in the team. It's just a pity at this time, we need someone who's a bit more ready with him.
I like him though. I like him a lot. It's the work rate that I like, man. That's the thing.
Yeah, at work rate doesn't score goals.
Yeah, but
the
he's not
issue
there
at the
for
moment.
the
No,
goals.
I'm not
It
against him.
allows the other people to score the goals.
Yeah,
Is
which
Yeah.
is
that
also
point.
not happening at the moment. Yeah, I just think he's taking some time to settle. That's yeah.
Makes sense though. He just got you. But if you like in terms of the back line and the keeper, do you like Sanchez? I mean,
I don't.
like okay, so he's
I,
just
I, I think
exactly
I think he's very careless.
yeah.
Um,
That's a good word. Yeah,
yeah, and I think he's lacking a lot of confidence as well because of all the mistakes that he's made. So
Yeah, so
that's
we
just
must just shoot.
yeah.
yeah. And
Just shoot.
I mean
Clap.
Chelsea has 7 keepers, so I mean it's not like they
And I don't know any
they
of them, which is great.
yeah.
They got some good keepers, to be honest. I mean, in that
Yeah, but a
seven, I'm
lot of
sure
them are
they've got,
young and
but
they
inexperienced. Yeah,
punted as like future greats.
yeah.
But I mean like nowhere close to where Chelsea need them to be right now. So at the moment, Robert Sanchez will have to do. But I mean,
He's not.
lot
He's
of
not
mistakes.
terrible. He's
No,
not
No,
no,
he's
no.
terrible.
not too.
He's
But
not like he's a very good shot stopper. Let me put it
Yeah.
like that. But similarly to how Daya was at United in terms of his passing of the ball, in terms of his distribution, not really that great. His selection of passes, like sometimes he'll pass it to a guy that has like two defenders or two people pressing him.
That's why
So
Brighton
yeah, that
sold him, right?
sorry.
That's why Brighton sold him because he couldn't pass the ball.
Yeah. No, that is exactly what the Zerbi said. He got rid of him because he can't play football the way that the Zerbi wanted.
Mhm.
So yeah, and I mean that should have been a red flag immediately. But as we know, like with Chelsea's all of their transfers over the last like 2 years or so, a lot of question marks around that. A lot of
There's no
red
question marks. They are
red
one for
flags.
the future. They are one for the future. They're gonna in 5 years' time. Chelsea gonna win the league. I'm telling you.
Like yes, the thinking is good to have a deep squad, but there are some questionable transfers in there that they've made. Like I saw that they want to sell Badiashile again. They just bought him last year, and now want to get rid of him
they'll
again.
make a profit.
So
So
I don't think so because they paid a pretty penny for him. So yeah,
uh,
I don't think that they'll really make much of a profit on him. But yeah, predictions, Siad.
man, this
Let's
is
see
a
what
freaking
you think
another
about.
draw written all over this game.
Let's
I
hear goal
honestly
scorer
can't.
from each side.
I can't see Arsenal winning. And with Sanchez in his poor form, I reckon it's going to be Havertz. Uh, someone scoring a header. It's going to be Havertz. It's going to be Gabriel. It's going to be Saliba if he's even playing. Yeah, he's available now, right? He served his suspension.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those scrappy goal. And with Chelsea, I think it could easily be just some sweeping move that ends in a tap in for Nico Jackson.
Nice. Riaz, I know you are a draw merchant as well. Are you?
I'm the original Bill Merchant. Come on, guys. I'm the
Bro, from
fence
what
team.
I saw from Chelsea in their last game and what I've been seeing from the Gunners, it's hard to think this is going to be entertaining. To be honest,
I fully agree. I
I feel like I'm
100%
gonna have
agree.
heartburn watching it.
I agree with literally everything you said. I don't see Arsenal winning the game. I see a headed goal. Oh, everything you said, I fully agree with, literally. I'm going to go with the draw as well because that's just what I do. And I'm right most of the time, some of the time, hardly. And it's going to be, I'm hoping for a good game. Honestly, I'm hoping for a better game than Arsenal have served up. And if that is what they can bring, then it's going to be tighter than we think. But at the draw at the end of the day. What about you, AF?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to go with the draw. I'm going to be optimistic on Ziad's part here.
Okay.
Leave me
Mainly
alone,
because I
bruh.
want Chelsea to drop
Go watch
points so
Sir
that
Alex
United.
Ferguson rather.
No, I mean, I just want Chelsea to drop points so that United are still within reach of them somehow.
Bruh,
Like,
Arsenal's below
I can't be
Chelsea.
within reach of
So why don't
Arsenal,
you
so
want
I'm
Arsenal
looking for.
to
I'm
drop the
looking.
points? Huh? Because Arsenal's below Chelsea, bruh.
No, there's literally more. It makes more sense for Chelsea to drop the points because Arsenal will still kick on once Odegaard comes back.
Yeah, but
Mate,
Chelsea,
you're getting Alex Ferguson version 2, bruh. You might be
yeah.
sitting second
yo, did you see how
when
they
we talk
called
again.
Alex Ferguson in the press conference?
He called
Shame.
himself Alex Ferguson,
No,
bro.
and then this morning they called him Alex Ferguson in the press conference, and then he was confused, and then he clicked afterwards to him. Shame.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
I'm gonna
was.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go 2-0 Arsenal. It's gonna be
Yeah,
Bukayo Saka and I think a Declan Rice goal.
yeah, he's a good
I think you spend
candidate.
fancy.
time with Jason.
Didn't Declan Rice
You need
play for the Chelsea Academy at some point?
Yeah,
It
correct.
sounds
Yeah,
familiar.
Yeah.
yeah.
It does sound familiar. But AF, I think, yeah,
Nah, man. I think
we're,
your
we were
AF's
picking you
seeing
up
some
now. I was
green
gonna say I
mist.
was gonna go the other way.
AF's got the green mist of sporting CP in his eyes, man. He's like,
Could also just be my
He's worrying
colors that I'm
about
wearing. I don't know.
he's worrying about
People calling me
Chelsea and
a sporting fan
Arsenal.
now. I don't know. Like
yeah.
maybe it could be.
You need to be
Could be
worried
a
about Spurs and
coincidence.
Villa, bruh. Leave Chelsea and Arsenal up there. We need to talk to us here at the bottom. Don't look there. It's not a
Like
place to be
if
looking.
if this result happens on Sunday 2-0, I will clip this and I will promote myself as far as possible and ask the Arsenal fans to thank me for it.
Oh, they
Thank you
will.
very
They
much.
will thank you for free, probably. Jason will be on the phone
Nah,
immediately.
they won't thank you. They also must say AF out.
Yeah, probably. Probably. I won't have a place to go anymore. Anyways, I think that is as long as we can go for this episode. Thanks you guys for showing up. Once again, please follow Sportycast on all social media platforms. Ziad is doing the most over there every single day, tweeting on Twitter and threading on threads. So yeah, go show him some love over there. We have some sport updates not only from soccer but from all sporting codes, American sports as well, baseball, basketball, football.
Go
So yeah,
Dodgers.
and yeah, so yeah, just like keep on sharing all of our accounts, and yeah, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Give this video a like, turn on the notifications for all of our episodes so that you are aware when we drop new ones. And then also on Spotify, give us a 5-star rating. You never know, maybe you guys might be in line for a giveaway sometime soon. We did a giveaway at the end of last year, so you never know. Might be another one this year. But yeah, Riaz, where can the people find you on social media?
Yeah, you can come tweet at me on Twitter at Parker_Riaz if you really want to. And follow the channel at Sporticos and comment down below why Emi Martinez is the most overrated keeper in the Premier League. Thank you so much.
Nice, nice, nice. Ziad, where can the people find you?
Yeah, come. I'm everywhere, man. Listen, if you into anything football, basketball, come find me. Let's have a chat. I'm over the Premier League.
Ziad
And
wants to
yeah,
talk about Derrick Henry. That's all he
uh,
cares about.
another hot take here is that FPL sucks and NFL fantasy football is better.
You're doing so well, though, Ziad. You're doing so well. You had a good couple of weeks.
FPL sucks, man. I can't. I give up. I tap out.
Oh, God.
That is true, but that's mainly just because I refuse to draft in Ireland for the entire season, so I just have to
Bruh,
deal
Haaland's done
with
nothing for the past 4 weeks.
Yeah,
You're not
that
missing
actually
out on
helped
Yo,
him.
that
giveaways.
first 4 weeks of the what's the name, that already ended my season because I didn't
If
have
you
him.
don't have Salah, that's the regret.
Now we're
Yeah,
talking.
yeah, nah, I had Salah since game week 1, but
And yet
that
you
first four
still.
weeks of Ireland,
Yeah.
that 10 goals in 4 games,
See,
that
that's why I
was
say FPL sucks, bruh. You can't play NFL fantasy. You can't have the same players. It's way better.
We'll see about
It's
that.
way better.
Riaz looks nervous, but yeah, we're not going to get into that. I'm at AF Parker 642 on all social media platforms. Yeah, just don't forget to follow us at Sportycast everywhere. thank you so much for tuning into this video. Thank you so much for dealing and putting up with all of our stupid comments at times during this episode,
Oh,
and a
stupid
lot of
comments.
there were some questionable ones, some from me as well. So yeah, thank you so much, and yeah, we'll catch you guys in a bit.
Amorim.